right now I have to stop saying
Coming up on the DLLS Stars Post Game show, following a 5-2 win in Game 3 over the Winnipeg Jets, Sean is here, Luds is here, John is here, I'm here, and Sam will be here later. We will break down this entire game, talk, show some screenshots. We'll take your super chats, and we might even update the Stanley Cone here on DLLS.
We want the Stanley Cup.
This is the DLLS Stars postgame show. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy responsibly. And by Happiest Hour, your home base and the best place to catch the NHL playoffs and cheer on the Dallas Stars. Just steps away from the AAC, the ultimate spot with 50-plus beers and 40-plus TVs for all the big moments every single game day. Happiest Hour, your favorite spot for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Big welcome to our DLLS regulars watching on YouTube, as well as our new viewers watching on Victory Plus. Thank you for joining us tonight. Alongside myself, Owen Newkirk, we have Sean Shapiro, live from parts unknown, Michigan. And we have Craig Ludwig, who chose the proper attire for Game 3. And, of course, we have John. He knew it, too, because he picked him today, Andersen, our producer. Sam Nestler will be joining us from the AAC a little bit later. Don't forget to check out the new shirts, including that finisher shirt and the Wyatt Johnston 16-bit. Those are sharp. We'll talk about that a little bit later, as apparently Wyatt helped everybody that went for him in the ball knower bonus. That's right. Will he score a goal in Game 3? The answer is he will. I hope you picked it, because you would have doubled your money if you bought a shirt, and you'll get a gift card. We'll find out. We know at least one that did. We'll talk about that more a little bit later. But boys, let's start with the fact that Dallas came home, won the game when it was tied going into the third period, pulled away. The Jets still have not won a road playoff game this year, and they have a 2-1 series lead. Nothing's been settled, because the Jets can come in and win Game 4 and go back with home ice, but this is the first step towards trying to consolidate that split in Winnipeg.
Yeah, and I think the best news is that you keep the goaltender at the other end of the rink doubting what he can do on the road. He hasn't had a good trip playing on the road this year, Hellebuck. But see how I led you guys right into that?
I mean, it's like you planned it. Coming.
The other thing is important. I mean, they get a goal 2.5 minutes, whatever, is into the game. I mean, you come home, you got your fans all here, just more of a reason to keep everybody on their feet. And I think the momentum just kind of rolled along throughout the game.
Sean, a quick bit of production while we're live. I saw your DM. I'm going to set you up when we talk about that goal in the review a little bit later. You can read that explanation, so be ready for that. Perfect. One quick thing before we get back into it, because I don't want to forget to mention actually two things. Luds, John, Sam, and I will all be at Happiest Hour on Tuesday. That's May the 13th. For a meet and greet with your favorite DLS Stars show, 5 to 6 o'clock before Game 4 this coming Tuesday night. So, Luds, that's 2 days from now.
I need a reminder.
Beer towers,
I'll be there at 3.
pretzels.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll be there early.
I'll be there.
The
early.
nachos.
I'll get us a seat.
Luds was there already. I haven't been yet, but we tried some of the food afterwards. The nachos were great. Can't wait for Luds to tackle one of those big Bud Light beer towers. So, should be a lot of fun. 5 to 6 o'clock on Tuesday before Game 4 at Happiest Hour, which is just down the street from us and right next to the AAC. So make sure you come say hello, hang out with us for an hour.
If anybody's got any connections to the W, that way I could make sure I get there early.
You get even earlier.
Get there the night before, get prepared.
You'll just camp out?
Well, we could have another meet and greet for lunch, and then you guys can show up a little later.
I love it.
Bing bang.
Also,
Bing bang.
Okay, hold on.
Big one.
Okay, hold on. Ben wants me to remind everybody
Anything
that
to do with the W?
Tonight, I will be on the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show at 11 p.m. on WFAA. So the ABC affiliate here in Dallas. So 11 o'clock, Ultimate Dallas Sports Show. Check out. I'll be joining them as a guest tonight at 11. All right, hit it up, John. Apparently we have a big one. I Love Misty with 1985 with a Rantanen and a Ludwig. Okay, I fess up. I wasn't playing my, is that Weeaboo, Japanese dating sim on Friday when we lost. I was playing Jackbox instead. Of course, I had to work today.
You put me on camera here because I can't figure out why you're not making that bigger for the dude.
Because I want to see your face as Owen reads these words.
I'm not even reading. I'm looking at the poor guy trying to read it.
It's pretty small font right now. Of course, I had to work today and hadn't been able to play now. So maybe there's no correlation. Anyways, let's get a win in game 4. Sometimes the superstition just doesn't add up, right? If you really want to do something, like Sean, for example, whatever dessert you chose before the Stars won in game 1, you don't have to eat that again, but if you want to, go for it.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I don't think your dessert impacts what happens on the ice in front of you. If otherwise,
it's a great dessert.
If I had any control over anything else, I would be doing something else by now and be far away from here, making way more money than what I'm doing in real life. So
I'd like to say I'd own a couple islands if I had that kind of control. Maybe a whole slew of islands, an archipelago.
The only person on this show that has ever had any impact on what happened in a hockey game is Craig Ludwig, because he actually played an NHL game. Luds and I have never had any.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
Island.
Fantastic super chat, though. Thank you. I love Misty. All right, Luds. What's the first thing that you take away from this game? Obviously, they win, and that's important. They're up 2-1 in the series. But thoughts about the way this played out, how they went about their business, and ultimately got the victory?
Well, I think it's proof that, momentum doesn't necessarily carry from one game to the next. And you can create your own momentum. They come back home, and it's exactly what they do. They have whatever they did yesterday, probably meetings and things like that, have a little discussion. Some reporter pissed off the head coach, and so maybe there was a little fire going on there, and it spreads into the room. And again, I look at the game, and you run through the numbers and stuff like that. I mean, it's a balanced out line. When you look at times and things like that, you got anybody anywhere from 10 minutes played to the highest forward, I think, was around 19 minutes. So that keeps for rest is best, and the momentum, like I said, didn't carry over, but I think it gives you that good feeling knowing that you're back in your building again, and you know what's on the line. And again, if you don't have your foot on the gas like they did today, it can flip-flop. And so right now we're going win-loss, win, and you want to make sure
which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine. Well, but now you got to put a win on top of a win.
Now you got to put a win on top of a win.
Yeah, that was the point of it. So you want to be going back to Winnipeg, obviously. Having a couple game lead would be the ideal situation for these guys.
Sean, what do you see as you watch this game today? Obviously, we're all happy with the Stars' victory. What came to your mind as you process this play, how this game 3 went about?
Yeah, there's two things that come in mind right now. One is the obvious Mikko Rantanen storyline, where I think I used this line over my 2020 post game, where we're talking about Mikko Rantanen like an NBA player right now. Like, this doesn't happen wherever it's the same guy leading and defining the moment every single time. We've seen guys have great playoffs. What Mikko Rantanen's been doing is unworldly right now with what he's been doing recently. So for me, though, the big thing from a team perspective and a game perspective is you go into the third period, it's a 2-2 game, and at some point there's going to be something wonky. There's going to be some adversity one way or the other. And yes, Mikko Rantanen is involved in making that happen. But for me, the Stars, this is a moment where the Stars kind of put their foot down that they were going to be that type of team that feels inevitable at times. I think Jake Oettinger deserves a ton of credit for what he did in the third period. I know that we're going to talk a lot about what happened to the other end with Connor Hellebuck, but he's got to do his job there. This is one where if he makes a mistake in a spot here or there, and he wasn't great in the first period in my view. I thought he looked a little off in the first period. He found his game as it went along. So the Stars and Oettinger really in the third period kind of did that thing where this is what championship type teams do. You go when the game is tied and you have those final 20-minute stretches, you make statements. And that's what I thought. That's what I took out of tonight's game. Today's game. It's not.
I know.
It's not
it is
1 a.m.
evening
now.
now.
Like
But you mentioned Rantanen, Sean. I don't know if you saw what I tweeted, but I will read it for everybody, assuming that they didn't. Rantanen now has 17 points in his last 6 playoff games. The next highest scoring playoff NHLer this year from April 28th through today has 9. That's almost double the field. Think about that. He has 9 goals in his last 6 playoff games. You said it's unheard of. The numbers are staggering. His points per game in his last 6 are 2.83 in the playoffs. Crazy.
It's ridiculous. And it's really fun to watch. Like, it's been awesome.
Can you imagine if Marchment, Duchesne, and Sagan get going the way that they did, in the past? I don't think they're, as a line, are creating a ton right now. I
thought they looked okay at the first period, but then
not good enough for
those
guys.
Right. But I thought there was some juice there early.
They're gonna need more than Rantanen being the dog. Every night. Eventually somebody's gonna figure out how to keep him down. But again, good job on Pete DeBoer keeping those guys together up there, because you look at what Hintz did tonight or this afternoon, I should say. Even Granlund, I think that his game, again, he's like a dog on a bone, kind of guy. So I think that it's hard to keep these guys down when you got that big number 96 doing the things that he's doing.
We're going to go through them in our next segment, but they did score twice out of 5 where Rantanen didn't factor in a goal or an assist. It snapped his streak at 13 straight playoff goals, which is...
Is it a slump?
It's a downturn, right? It's an NHL record. 13 is the most consecutive goal contributions ever in the Stanley Cup playoffs for one team. That's unheard of, because the previous record was Mario Lemieux at 9.
He's a good player one of his day.
He was a darn good player. But they did get goals from 4 other people. Yeah. That helps.
Yeah, I think anytime you don't have to lean on the same guy all the time. But like I said, I just think that these guys have another level. And again, they're playing well, and Jake is playing great. I just look at some of the things that's going on around Otter and some of the saves that he makes. I looked at the last few minutes there, or it was even the last minute of the game when they have the extra attacker. Jake is on his knees, just sliding back and forth. He looks calm and cool, stands up when he has to make a save or so. So it just seems like that particular goalie, his headspace is where you want it.
Part of me wants to ask you if you knew to pick that shirt this morning.
Why? You know why?
Is it just because he does it every game?
No, it's because I should have wore it the last game, and I didn't. And so I kind of wanted to, because last time I didn't wear it. I brought it with me.
Oh, you had it?
I brought it with. No. I'm talking about when I originally got this shirt. Yes. I didn't wear it. I brought it with me, and then
that's right. You put it on.
I waited for a game.
He had a big reveal too.
Yeah. So, but I just figured after last game, only because I think he only had 1 shot or something like that, that he needed to be Superman again. And we'll see if this sparks it. So this is really, Sean, if you haven't heard, this is the only bright spot of my day right now. So
it's true. Lud's had an unfortunate issue with his vehicle earlier. I don't know if you want to share that now or at another time.
I don't know if it's unfortunate or not. I haven't seen it.
We'll find out, right? Yeah.
Unfortunate issue is the sugar coating the biggest sugar coating of all time for someone whose vehicle was stolen.
Oh, you want to tell the story, or you want to save it for another day?
Which part? The car?
Yeah.
Well, John, you know the story. What the hell's the story? Well, I don't know the story. There's nothing.
His car was stolen.
I literally know nothing.
It disappeared out of your driveway.
Yeah, I was getting ready to take off today, and somebody beat me to it.
So Lud's had to take a different car today, and he still does. It's still.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for updates. I'm getting no updates.
He's waiting for a text on it. Parts unknown is not where Sean is remote from. It's where Lud's vehicle currently resides.
Yes.
We don't know. Sean, before we get to our next segment, what do you think the Otters Better chant does for Jake Oettinger? Obviously the crowd really responded to the Winnipeg fans, which were great, giving the U.S. backup chants over 2 games up in Winnipeg. But I imagine that Jake, of course he loved hearing that, right? That had to be a huge thing for him, because it was all throughout. Started, I think, before the 6-minute mark of the first period, and it just kept going the whole game.
And he's driven by a lot of that stuff. we talked about one of the reasons he loves playing at the road. He loves shutting up the haters and everything like that. But when he plays at home and has an opportunity, he knows that obviously his job is to beat the Jets right now, but outplaying Connor Hellebuck is a big statement for a guy who has been clear he wants to be the best goalie in the world. And for me, one of the coolest things about the kind of Stars history tie-in is there's, for those who don't know, and Luds probably remembers hearing it, Luds, the chant when Eddie was having a good game in 99, the chants were Eddie's better. And I love, and when in 99, Eddie Belfour outplays Dominic Hasek and Patrick Waugh in back-to-back series. And this is Jake Oettinger playing against the guy who's considered the best goalie on the planet right now. And I think that's such a cool kind of connection to Stars history with that chant, where with the Otters better one connects to the Eddie's better history from 26 years ago. You do the math for me, Owen. But I think it's a really cool thing.
And when you say that, and one of the characteristics of Eddie, and maybe we're seeing the same thing, Sean, I don't know, but Eddie was always better after a loss in playoff wise. I mean, he had a way to drill down on himself, and he just had a different level in him after he didn't win a hockey game.
Up next, let's talk about the goals. We'll break a few things down. Don't forget, we're coming up in a little bit. We'll get your super chats, all that and much more here on the DLLS Stars Post Game show after a Game 3 win. Sean muted himself.
No, I didn't. I did not mute myself. My hand has been on my phone. That's on the producer.
He's good now. Go right ahead.
Okay. Let's talk about Sleeper, the best fantasy league platform out there. Put your puck or ball knowledge to the test by picking whether your favorite or least favorite players will have more or less than their projected stats each week. Tonight, let's go revisit some of John's pregame picks for Game 3 first here. John, what we got?
2 of the 4 picks hit. That's not how it works on Sleeper, though. You got to hit all of them, so they might as well have all missed. Mikko Rantanen did record more than 1.5 points, though. That's one that matters. Otter didn't even face enough shots to record more saves than we took him for. So, sorry. I'll be back in saddle Tuesday.
And with Sleeper, the more picks you combine when you get more than 2 of 4 right, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. So if you think you have what it takes, new users can download the Sleeper app and use the code DLLS Stars to get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. Apply it to any contest, doesn't have to be your first. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
Thank you, Sean. It's almost time. The deadline for submitting a protest for your property taxes here in Texas, May 15th in most counties. Well, owning property comes with plenty of challenges, and overpaying on property taxes shouldn't be one of them. Own Well can get you hooked up by just signing up in under 3 minutes to make sure you're paying a fair amount and nothing more than that, as their team of local experts in cutting-edge technology can start saving you money with no upfront cost. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes. Own Well handles everything from start to finish and delivers top results. No upfront costs. You only pay if you save. The deadline is May 15th for most counties. Save money on your property taxes with Own Well. Sign up in less than 3 minutes. Start your protest today at ownwell.com/DLLS. That's OWNWELL.com/DLLS. All right, let's talk about some goals here. And Luds, it started early. If Game 2 was marred by a 4-minute double minor high sticking by Tyler Seguin just 17 seconds into the game, Game 3 started because Nino Niederreiter took a penalty for high sticking 22 seconds into the game, and the Stars didn't even score on that one. It would be the tripping penalty on Josh Morrissey late on that power play, but then they got it on a nice tip in by Roope Hintz.
Josh Morrissey, yeah, he's our guy.
It's so much better as a trolling function. I love it. Go ahead.
It's just distracting.
I know.
I hate distractions. This is a better one for me to ask Sean about. This is like, it's a great pass, obviously, when Rantanen gets this over in the high slot to Hintz for that shot pass that eludes Hellebuck. Sean, is this just the case that he doesn't see it, or is he too deep in his net? Because I don't know if this is that difficult of a save on this one from Hellebuck's standpoint.
Well, he's playing deep here, and that's how he normally plays. So that's not a big deal. To me, there's 2 parts of this. He should make this save. The other thing, and this happened on the other this happened on the goal. We'll get to the Harley goal later as well. But this, like, Luds, if Pionk's going to go to the front of the net, like, it's amazing to me. We talk about the Stars and their man-on-man coverage, and that's, I know how that can, that's a frustration point. For me, I'm amazed how often the Jets this series have basically run quick moving screens on their own goalie. There's been so many times throughout this series now, and I guess it didn't really happen as much in game 2, and so that's why he had a shutout, but there's been so many times this series where the Jets defenders have taken their own goalie's eyes out of the way by crossing the line in front of him. Plays where if you're going to do that, you better A, block the shot, or B, stay in your lane and let him see it. So I want the goalie to make the save here, clearly. But this is something, too, where just from a Jets perspective, if you're Scott Arniel and you're looking at the video and you're going into game 4, you got to be having a conversation. Why are all of our defensemen all of a sudden, they didn't do it all year. They had such a good structure all year. So why now in this playoff series are the Jets just constantly flashing their own guys in front of their goalie's eyes at the last moment? It's a baffling development for me for a team that, and it did happen a bit in the St. Louis series, but the Jets it's been very self-inflicted by the Jets, and it's been weird to watch after a team that didn't do this at all in the regular season.
I'll answer it for you because he can't stop them. So I'm thinking, well, I might as well get in front of it because especially when we're on the road. And does it have anything to do with knowing that your goaltender plays underneath the bar? Because I think of it that now there's more space behind me. You know what I mean? Like when he's out on top of the crease, we move out a little bit because we don't want to bump into him. Knowing that your goaltender, and it really shouldn't matter. You're still not trying to, but I'm telling you, there's times when you don't have confidence, and I played for some of them where you start to do too much. You're trying to keep the puck out of your net because there's this one little mark every game that goes next to that stat. And some of us only get certain stats, and we don't like the minuses. And so you end up doing everything you possibly can, which ultimately turns into, as you say, too much.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely a thing where you, as a team, I think there's been a bit of a pressure from Hellebuyck not having his numbers like he had all season. All of a sudden, whether it's blame or feeling like a responsibility, whatever words you want to use, there's definitely an element to that. And also, Lutz, as you kind of go, your note there about that dash and everything like that, that's the reason that plus minus still matters in this sport. No matter what, just as my quick aside, people always talk about plus minus. It will always matter in this sport because of that. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Kyle Connor tied it 7 minutes later on a wraparound. Anything that stood out to you on that goal?
Yep. Again, this is an easy one. And I did this last game when I hate talking about Essa. I do. But you'll see here as Essa's coming back.
Are you saying because the good far outweighs the bad?
Yeah. Ridiculously. Yeah. But that's why I don't. As soon as I see something like this, I'm going, God, I hope that wasn't number 20. Because I don't want to break it down.
But he's so good all the time that you can
the puck
live with a couple.
Moves from one side to the other. So what happens is Connor and Essa come from the wall. Connor goes behind the net. Now the puck is over on that side of the ice on top of the screen here. What happens is Essa turns his head to the left. And when he looks to the left, Connor sneaks behind him. And because of Connor's speed right here, and if you were watching it, he now glimpses and he sees that he's gone behind the net. Then he starts to recover to the net. And by then, because of Connor's speed, and he does a good job. And, he's got his very similar to what Rantanen did in Colorado, where he's already starting to wrap it and he's halfway behind the net. So he kind of beats Jake to that post, although Jake got there and there was a little crack underneath his glove and he just tucks it in right tight to the post.
So that makes it 1-1. And Sean, I was going to say it was a horrible miss. Then I watched the replay and it was Wyatt Johnston saving a goal because Jamie Benn took a penalty for holding the stick. The crowd didn't like it. Jamie definitely had his arm inside the stick of Nino Niederreiter and kind of pinched it to his side. Niederreiter kind of took the stick and pulled it back to kind of pinch Jamie's arm so he couldn't get free and show the refs. It was a convoluted mess. But on that power play, Scheifele darts in and draws the attention and centers it. Morrissey's got an empty net. But Wyatt gets his stick back under the gloves and just does enough to force Morrissey to shank it wide to the left. It's a horrible miss, but it was impeded by Wyatt Johnston.
It's why Wyatt Johnston is Patrice Bergeron in my mind. That's that play right there. It's what he does and how he delivers in the biggest moments, whether it's what other end of the rink it's at. It's Wyatt Johnston is. I don't know how many times we're gonna hear he only turns 22 on Wednesday, so I'll be the first to say it on this show. He only turns 22 on Wednesday.
Is he going to be a Selke candidate in the not too distant future the way he's playing?
I think so, because of what this playoff run is doing as well. When it comes to getting that attention, you have to do it in the biggest moments, right? Like, and this is kind of, he already had his past couple of years have been the Wyatt Johnston coming out party. The Game 7 goal against Seattle probably got some attention league wide a couple of years back. What he's doing now and how he's really driving things, I think he will be on those lists, and he will be getting votes for the Selke at some point, not too distant future.
And that was a big deal because 2 minutes later, from the Benn penalty to the Harley goal was 2 minutes and 10 seconds, Luds. Granlund draws a penalty behind the net, and during the delayed call, makes an unbelievable pass on his knees in the trapezoid, finds Harley. Harley, we talked about the traffic in front, uses a Jets defender as a screen and beats Hellebuyck to the glove.
Yeah, to me, this whole play is Granlund. I mean, he gets knocked down, as you said. He falls. He slides basically over to where the puck comes back to the wall, and he gathers it up somehow. And it is a little bit fortunate because when he goes to throw this puck out front, it goes off of DeMello's stick, and it tips it right here, and it ultimately goes in the perfect spot. Lands nice for Harley. And as we've seen, and I was looking to see, for some reason, I wanted to see if I could give Hellebuyck an out of jail kind of free card on this one, but it didn't. When I saw this puck come in here, to me, it looked like Hellebuyck saw it, and it ultimately, I think it goes between his pad and his glove. And so, but Thomas Harley with that quick shot, here's that wrist shot, he always seems to get it away, and he finds the right spot.
So that makes it a 2-1 Stars lead after one. Poor Mason Appleton took a puck to the left ear. He would be okay in return. They go into the second period, and Nino Niederreiter tied it on a scintillating pass by Morrissey. But ready for this, folks?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Man-on-man coverage breakdown leads to this play.
Had to bring it up. John looked at me right away.
He knew.
He wanted me to throw it out there.
I could break down these plays at this point.
Yeah.
You've heard enough of this from Luds.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, it's the way they play. So, here's Harley and Niederreiter. This is where Thomas is following his guy. Okay, everybody, you look around, everybody's where they're pointing at the direction they're going. You can even see his partner actually is looking the other way here. He's looking to find his guy. He's not really watching the puck. Regardless, this play is made by Morrissey, though. Morrissey gets the puck, and he makes a nice little move up here, gives himself some space. But for some reason, Thomas decides to become a forward here, and this is the one time you'd say, stay with your guy.
Don't leave your wingman.
Yeah, so he doesn't, and ultimately what happens is Morrissey makes a pinpoint pass right through a couple sticks here, and Niederreiter lets it go right away. And you know what? And there was a part here, Sean, too. I thought, well, maybe there was a little traffic in front of the net, but when I got another look at it, I think it was just a nice hard pass and a great shot because Jake did pick up the pass. I saw his head. We had a shot from behind. You saw it, and yeah. I mean, I think you just give credit to Morrissey and then the finisher and Niederreiter, and thank you, Thomas, for leaving me go. But Thomas makes up for it. You know what I'm saying? So it all evens out.
Yep.
So we're good.
Yes. Yep.
Marchment had a nice little dangle and shot while he was falling down where he got through a couple defenders and nearly scored. Cody Ceci had a wide open wrist shot right before the third media timeout of the second period where Hellebuyck made a great glove save. That looked like it was going to be maybe a moment the Stars would rue a bit. Then they had a power play for the Jets, but the penalty kill got it done. And so you go to the third period tied. Now we have
wait.
Go ahead.
We should talk about something that didn't happen at the end of the second period real quick. Because Mason Marchment was not called for hitting the official with his stick.
We were talking about that between Sam and I. Yeah. Go ahead, Sean. Explain what you saw there.
I think that's worth bringing up. So Mason Marchment was upset about a call that was missed down low, and as the I'm not sure.
He got cross-checked at the ribs.
He did, yeah. But as he's going back to the bench with about 6-7 seconds left in the second period, he whacks the ref right on the shin with his stick, and for a guy who already has lost all benefit of the doubt, I was amazed he wasn't given a penalty right there for abusive official. And Elliot Friedman tweeted out that apparently at the start of the third period, Marchment went out and apologized to the refs before the start and everything like that. But that's a moment right there where the guy who has been on the wrong side of the ref's ledger for so long somehow got a banker in his favor, because that's you can't go and hit the ref with your stick. You can't do that. The Stars would have probably been on the penalty kill to start the third period, and so that didn't happen. I think that's worth noting because for all the times I talk about Mason Marchment hasn't earned the benefit of the doubt, maybe his apologies are that nice that they let him get away with that part. So I don't know.
That was a little dicey, and
yeah,
that's not even the biggest moment of controversy in the game, because the big one is the Alexander Petrovic goal. We're going to talk about that right on the other side, and then take your super chats here on the DLLS Stars Post Game Show.
This one ought to be fun. This is
very
similar to the ball knowledge one, but I don't know if you've heard of Mando, but Mando is a men's deodorant brand that's focused on keeping every aspect of a man's body smelling fresh and clean. Every aspect. Mando overtly calls out parts of men's bodies such as pits, belly buttons, your balls, butt cracks, and grundles, a.k.a. the taint. I don't know if you know what that may be. Their scents are geared towards men with options like bourbon leather, cloverwood, Mount Fuji. Who wouldn't want their balls smelling like Mount Fuji? I don't know. And Pro Sport, created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated, clinically proven to block odor all day. Mando Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant. Not sure where that goes. A cream of lube, or tube. No, that's tube. A cream of tube deodorant. That makes more sense. 2 free products of your choice. Let's just say use code DLLS and shopmando.com. Next.
Oh, how am I supposed to follow that? There's no way. All right. We're crying over here. Let's talk about Empire Today. Just like your home team needs a home ice advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts. Oh, man. Dedicated.
You're the one that gave me the read.
I knew it. It was a mistake. Dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DLLS listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code DLLS. Yes, you heard right. A $350 discount with code DLLS. We're not done laughing. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DLLS for full details. All right, Sean, let's talk about this massive, not what Lutz was just talking about, refereeing decision.
By the way, you do get 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes.
Perfect.
Just want to get that in there.
Mando.com.
Yeah, Mando.com.
All right, perfect. Oh, dear, we're dying.
Use the
We're
code
absolutely dying.
DLLS.
I can't wait for the next time he has to do that read because we will still be laughing. Sean, I want you to read what you sent me as a message because the Alex Petrovic goal on a rebound from Mikko Rantanen shot goes in off of Hellebuck. They give it counted as a goal on the ice, but then there's a lengthy review. It's 7 minutes long before ultimately being upheld as a good goal. What did the Situation Room have to say as to why they did that?
Yeah, this read is not nearly as entertaining as the read we all just experienced a second ago. So, but the Situation Room initiated a video review to further examine if Alexander Petrovic kicked the puck into the Winnipeg net. Video was then used to determine if the puck made contact with Petrovic's stick prior to it entering the net. After looking at all available replays, video review supported the referee's call on the ice, that Connor Hellebuck propelled the puck into his own net. And that part is in bold at the end there. And that's the big one where it's, at the end of the day, the call was made that this may have been a distinct kicking motion, but that this would not have been considered a shot on net if Connor Hellebuck hadn't propelled it into the net with his own stick. And that's where this is really interesting.
It is distracting, I have to say, mid-sentence.
Sorry,
like
Sean,
that.
I had to.
Keep going, Sean.
I'm trying to regain composure here. Oh my God, John! Really?
It's not as distracting as laughing during the Mando read. I have to give you credit for that.
Yeah, I have to give. So that's going to be the really interesting thing that will be kind of, I'm sure, diagnosed and spoke about up in Manitoba for the next couple days, of the fact the ref said it may have been a kick, but at the end of the day, it was propelled into the net because Connor Hellebuck made a play on the puck with his stick, and that's why it went in. So the ref said this is basically an own goal. That's what they called this, if by using the ref's term. And so, I don't mind it counting. When I saw it happen, I thought that it might not count because it seemed like a kick. It was definitely, to me, it was him angling, kicking, whatever you want to call it. But we also saw on the other end of things back in round one, the Lehkonen goal that counted, and that was way more of a kick. And so, using that precedent, I don't think the Lehkonen goal should have counted, but because the Lehkonen goal counted, I think this one should count. So it was really, really weird and a long delay. And I think I talked early in the show about how there's moments in the game where adversity happens and everything like that, and it's a 3-2 game at that point. And I think the big story for me out of all of this is, so that goal happened, and it's really cool that Alex Petrovic gets his first NHL playoff goal since 2016. But the big thing for me to come out of that is, after this 7-minute delay and everything like that, the Jets are the Jets fold and the Stars don't, and that's kind of where that's what I take out of it from going from there.
That's a great description.
What do you think about the decision and you and I were talking while we were watching it? There really wasn't much of a kicking motion to begin with.
That's the part that got me. I didn't see a distinct motion. And isn't that what didn't somebody come back and say that that's what they were looking at to make sure it wasn't a distinct
That's
motion?
what we heard on the broadcast.
That's what we heard on the broadcast. They said the whatever they call it, the war room said they were checking to see if it was a distinct kicking motion. Wow.
But ultimately, because Hellebuck
hit the tip of his stick.
Yeah.
I mean, what it is. So
Yeah.
good for Petro, because you wouldn't want another one called back. Poor guy.
Well, he had it changed to Marchment for that tip-in goal.
Well, that's called back.
That was. So Rantanen assisted on that one, so his second point of the game, and the Stars have the 3-2 lead. 49 seconds later, Mikko has his moment as he scores his 9th goal of the playoffs. Let me remind you that this was game number 10 of the playoffs for Mikko and the Stars. And he didn't have any goals in his first 4 games. So it's his 9th in his last 6 games, which is ridiculous. And this was just a power move across the ice.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what the defenseman Sandberg was doing. Mikko, again, he kind of floats across there. But Sandberg, for some reason, looks like he's going down to block the shot. I didn't understand it. To me, it didn't look like he was in a shooting position. And generally, you just kind of stand up and you kind of take up some space. You don't go down to one knee. Anyways, Rantanen sniffs that one out. And then once he gets, he makes his neck move, it's just basically, and it went through traffic. Actually, Pionk is the one that provided the screen for him. That's the one
that's the second one.
That's
in this
what
game.
Sean's talking about. He actually went into a goalie save position too, kind of right in front of Hellebuck, and just prevents the screen. There's goaltender from seeing it, and then Rantanen goes short side high, and there you go, just like another day for him.
And with that, it is a 4-2 lead. 49 seconds between the goals. Scott Arniel, the Winnipeg Jets coach, uses his timeout. It didn't help. Marchment drove to the net, got a great chance. Harley almost had a tip in. Jamie Benn goes in on a 3-on-2 late in the period. And guess who gets the rebound on a couple of whacks? Wyatt Johnston. And that not only makes it 5-2 Stars, but it also means that if you picked Wyatt to score a goal in Game 3, you won your ball knower bonus.
It's
not so easy, is it?
I know. Gonads. Just try gonad.
Christopher, standard time. Thanks for the goal. Wyatt ordered a second shirt, DLLS. That's right. For that challenge, which was up to today's game, if you clicked on that link, ordered at least $25 worth of merch, if not more, and made that bet that he would score, you will get a matching amount gift card to the DLS merch store. So how about that? Big for Wyatt. And in the end, they didn't get the empty net goal, but it doesn't matter. 5-2. Sean, you mentioned this. You felt like after the Petrovic goal was upheld that the Jets crumbled a bit, and it sure felt like they just kind of went away in the third period.
Yeah, that's a spot where Luds, you've been in, they didn't have those type of reviews when you played, but you've been in a spot where something bad happens, and at that spot as a team, and you're waiting to hear how one thing goes one way or the other, your message as a coach and a team can't be dependent on what happens on that play on the ice. I think the Jets, overly reacted to it was a goal. It's got to be one of those where, hey, we're hoping it's not a goal, but throughout that 7 minutes, it's got to be, hey, guys, no matter what, we're not playing great. We got to do this. We're going to come out. The coaches got 7 minutes to chat with their team, work with their team, and that's got to be, hey, if this goes in, if it's a 3-2 game, that first shift come out, we got to be ready. If we don't, great, we still got to be ready. And to me, that's the Stars were ready, and no matter what was going to happen on that play, and the Jets, I think, were too dependent emotionally on what happened on the result of that goal, and then basically Mikko Rantanen happened again. So it's a big, to me, that's a leadership and coaching perspective thing where the Jets have to be better coming out of that 7-minute break to where you're waiting to find out if it's a goal or not.
Yeah, when you've got that kind of break or any, and obviously we've never sat around for 7 minutes that I can remember, but but we had a bunch of leaders on the team, but everybody'd be talking, and you would be setting everybody up for regardless of what happens here. You know, whether they call it a goal or they don't call it a goal, either way, whoever's going to go on the ice next, we're going to just keep the tone going the way we want. If we don't like it, then we're going to change the tone. And then the conversation be, we're going out there for 30 seconds, then you guys are going out there for 30, and then we're going out there for 30, and then you either keep the momentum going or you get it back is kind of the way you approach it. Because at 3-2, it's still a game. I mean, there's plenty of time, and you're still going. So, but maybe that just tells us a little bit something else about this team, and which I think we're going to learn a lot about this team, obviously, in Game 4. Not Dallas. I'm talking about Winnipeg.
Your teammate Joe Nieuwendyk had a franchise record, by factoring in 4 game-winning goals set during the 99 Cup year, from Game 3 of the conference quarterfinals till Game 2 of the conference semifinals. So 4 consecutive wins. Not necessarily. I mean, there was a loss or 2 in there, but Mikko Rantanen has now factored in the Stars' last 5 straight game winners, which is the longest streak in franchise history. He's also, this is even more crazy, the first player in NHL history with 5 3-point games through his first 10 contests in a postseason. Nobody has ever done that before.
This stuff isn't that crazy. This is Game 3 of the second round.
That's crazy, right? Yeah.
There's a few more games to be played here.
It's unbelievable how he continues to grow. And
take the Moose and put him in bubble wrap every night, like when he leaves the room.
When he was acquired at the deadline, I think that's the stat that made us all of us the most interesting, was how many points he had. Was it 100 points in 80 playoff games in his career? And we said, well,
I said 160. I remember saying that.
Yeah, it was.
He said 160.
I think it was like 100 or 160.
He's getting close to the 160 though.
We said, if you
he
get
might
this
have
guy,
160 by the time this is over.
He might. If you get this guy, it's worth the contract. It's worth the draft picks. It's worth giving up Stankoven. I don't think any of us, Sean, expected him to do this already, because I think he's blown every expectation out of the water at this point.
Yeah, I was doing I don't know if it's updated yet. I was curious to see. Now, he didn't have any points the other night, but I was curious. He's now he entered the playoffs 7th all time in points per game for the NHL playoffs, and if this is updated, he's now at 1.308 points per game in the playoffs. Which is
Are you on the NHL stat site?
I'm on Quaint Hockey right now because they have
I
a
can't
better
speak for that,
SEO.
because this NHL stats have been updated on their website.
And what do they have him at now? Do they have him at 1.308?
Well, let's look at all-time playoff skaters points per game. They have him at 1.31.
Okay, so
just 12.
Because McKinnon was it?
Lads, think about this: 119 points in 91 playoff games.
Yeah, but you're not looking at qualified stuff.
Oh my God, you two, get it together.
Either way, he's very close to passing Mikko. Mikko Rantanen is very close to passing Nathan McKinnon.
Yes.
For most points per game in a playoff career. Very close. And so I say this, and I said this in just before, but I'm actually being very serious about this, where for all of the McKinnon merchant things, where's that conversation going now? Right? Let's one of them's playing world championships right now. One of them's is putting up 3 points per night in the second round of the playoffs.
Mikko Merchant. Yep, I totally agree.
Thank you for that social clip, Sean.
Oh,
That'll
I'm
pop
gonna
off on Twitter.
I'm gonna hear about that from my Denver buddies now. That's gonna be fun.
Up next, let's do Super Chats. Let's say hi to Sam. Lot more to get to here on the DLS Stars Post Game Show, both on YouTube, Victory Plus, and also if you're listening to us later on the audio streaming platforms. But first, let's talk about being a DLLS diehard. What a great way to support our show and also get the best coverage you can from DLLS. All of the writing that we do at our website is accessed. It doesn't matter what level's at, whether it's open to everybody or it's locked into the diehard level. You get it all if you become a diehard. Scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen, see where Sean is pointing. It will take you right to the website, alldls.com. Sign up today, and not only will you lock in your first year, you get a free t-shirt of your choice. And we have a lot of t-shirts to choose from. We showed you earlier the Wyatt Johnston 16-bit, along with the Mikko Rantanen finisher shirt. Those are the newest additions to our catalog, and they are fantastic. But there's also the Finnish Mafia, which I believe is one of the best sellers ever for ALLCITY. Not just DLS, but all 5 of the affiliates of ALLCITY Network. And that one is back in availability, pre-order. If you've been waiting on this one, don't wait any longer. You might miss out if you didn't get it on the first run. We have a second. So don't miss at all. Get that today. Of course, there's also a couple other playoff shirts around there. The Moose, very appropriate. Jamie Benn captain shirt. Yes, we know he doesn't wear a visor, but it'd be weird to write captain across his eyes. So that's why it works that way. And of course, when you sign up to be a DLS diehard, you get access to everything that we do, whether it's the writing of Sean and Sam, and Sean has an instant reaction piece that he'll do the next morning. So tomorrow he'll have something up about Game 3 that he picked out. He was noticing face-offs is a big thing. The rim reverse for Game 2 was another one of his items. Lots more there. Of course, Cowboys, Mavs, Rangers, all cover it in full here on DLLS. And we also have a diehard-only Discord channel. Plus, if you were a diehard and you wanted to participate in the ball knower bonus that we just finished, you could have gotten 20% off the order that you had and still participate in this. So, I mean, it sounds like a win to me. Go to alldls.com. Should we say hi to Sam or should we get right to our Super Chats, John?
We've got Sammy Boy all
Let's
loaded
say
up.
hi to Sam. Sam, we have not even started Super Chats. There's been so many things for us to talk about in this game so far.
We want the Stanley Cup.
Oh, don't you start.
We want the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
That's Connor Hellapop. Josh Morrissey, yeah,
That's what I'm
he's our
talking.
guy.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why people tune into this show, guys.
What's going on over the AAC postgame, Sam?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, honestly. The big one I took away, I listened to Scott Arniel, the Winnipeg Jets coach, speak as well, and it was almost identical to what Pete said after that last game in Winnipeg, and also just previously in their losses. Is just, we thought we played a good game. You take away 2-3 minutes of this series or of this game tonight or today, whatever day it is, and it may be completely different if they don't have that swing with the Petrovic Rantanen goal. It's an even game, and I leaned over, I said it to Owen, I think I said it to Robert. This is just what this series is going to be. It's 2 very, very even teams, and the margin of error, the difference between the talent level is so thin, so slim, that it's just going to matter who comes in the big moments, right? Who makes those big plays in the big moments, and that can be the goalie, that can be Ottinger making a big save to keep it scoreless or keep it tied, or that can be what we saw, which is Mikko Rantanen basically saying, I don't care about this review, I don't have time for this, I'm going to go out here and put this game away. And that to me is what I'm expecting to see throughout the rest of this series. But one thing from Pete, he just continues to say the same things, and as much as that can be frustrating for Stars fans after a loss, especially last round where they got kind of blown out a couple of times in Colorado, that's the way this team has gone. And it's the maturity of the group. It's the honesty of the group. I think I mentioned that late in the season. They don't hesitate to criticize. And, Pete said it's obviously not, you're not coming out here and just screaming at everybody, but whether it's Jamie Benn or a leader, or whether it's coming directly from the coaching staff, this team just takes the criticism, finds a way to improve, and moves on. And I've watched a lot of hockey in my days, and not every team is that mature and that able to do that. And I think that's just been a difference to this team, to be able to just whether it's in a game that they're down, whether it's a swing the other way during a game, or whether it's a 4-0 loss in Winnipeg and trying to respond. It's just been really impressive to see how well they're able to do it.
Sam, before I ask you the next question, Sean, you just saw something about from Elliot Friedman regarding the Mason Marchment incident with Graham Skilleter, which I want to ask Sam. But Sean, will you give the update for everybody?
Yeah, just a quick update. Once again, this is courtesy of Elliot there. The league has discussed the incident at the end of the second period between Marchment and the referee was Graham Skilleter. But it's the on-ice officials' call to decide what qualifies as abusive officials. Since the official did not consider it abusive official, there is no further action. So it goes down to good guy Graham Skilleter not throwing the book at Mason Marchment like he potentially could have.
So, Sam, you saw it right away. I actually had to see a replay because I missed it. The interaction with the tap on the shins. You were pretty surprised and thought there might be something that was going to follow, but apparently not.
I was honestly a little bit blown away. I mean, first of all, it's Mason Marchment. That's enough right there for a lot of officials to make a penalty. But he was screaming in the face of the official, and then the tap. I mean, it's not like he's trying to hurt him or anything, but he's letting him know that he's very frustrated and that it's more than just screaming at the official. That is I thought it was going to be a penalty immediately, and then after watched it a few times, it was bad. He obviously is upset. He got cross-checked or hit from Scheifele behind the play. He had a play a minute or so before that, or behind the net, that he's frustrated and slams his stick on the glass. But the fact that he does that he's right in the face of the official making that argument and throws that little slash on him, and then he's screaming from the bench, and then he comes out in the third period, and I see him skate over and start having a conversation. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's, apologizing, trying to make it right. And then he starts lifting up his shirt, trying to show the bruise of where he got cross-checked. So he doubled and tripled down on his argument there. And I'm just really surprised. As Sean said, that's probably the right way it should be. So that's a good rule to have, I guess. But Pete was really funny after. I don't know if he was playing dumb on it or if he really just didn't know. But he was asked about it, and he said, I saw the little tap on the shins. I saw the conversation, but I wasn't sure if it was just a friendly, how are you? I see that you're there kind of thing. And I was like, I don't know about that
one. We all know Pete loves to inject humor in his press conferences post-game, don't we, Luds?
Yeah, we've only seen one time.
Yeah.
I think we used it today.
We did.
No, he's pretty – that's why this is the first time we saw that. He was been pretty calm and cool, and just be careful you don't ask the wrong questions to Pete, I guess. Or he doesn't have an answer for him.
Or suggest that you're going to maybe apply for the coaching job.
Yeah, and as far as Marchment goes, I mean, composure, right? There's bigger things down the road here for this group, and, you don't want to be having some action like this, whether it was over the line or not, cost a guy missing a game, because you never know. Or carrying over to some kind of another call, and you got to keep your emotions in check.
So I saw this on one of our tweets. Michael Dixon, who is the Stars radio host on The Ticket, said that per the Stars media guide, somebody tied a franchise record regular season or playoffs, and it is Liam Bichsel. Bichsel had 13 registered hits in this game. The Stars out-hit the Jets by 42-41. Brendan Morrow was the last player to have 13 hits in a game. It was January 6th, 2006 against Anaheim, which is a regular season game. But Luds, 13 hits. That is ridiculous. That's a lot.
I would expect that, though, playing against a team like this. They play north and south, and they get in forecheck, and they get in hard on pucks. And so sometimes it's like shooting fish in a barrel. There's nobody that on that team that appears to be afraid to go in his corner or to the front of the net in those areas of the ice. And so he does most of those along the wall, which is where, especially when you play the way that Dallas does, and you get that guy that wants to come down the wall, being as big as he is. When you talk about I got my guy, yeah, he's part of the boards right here. I got him right here.
Sam, by the way, you missed it while you were doing your work. Luds did the Mando read, and we definitely got the giggles and cry laughed.
I heard from sources.
Oh,
that's
boy.
how far this baby goes. I heard.
Oh. Well,
is it from the same source that was possibly slightly annoyed at me making a joke about you not yet being married? Don't bring your sources. Yeah, see, she's always watching.
Oh,
say hi to Katie. She's probably watching.
I wasn't listening. What?
Hi, Katie.
Oh, I was checking Lost and Found over here.
There
so
you
I'm
go.
just
He's trying to
kinda
find
going
his
through the
car.
Lost and Found.
All right, let's
Is your
get
car in
to
there?
our super chats because we have a ton of them and we have not even started them yet. So let's rock on. Look at that. This was from our DLS Stars Twitter account. Very well done, John. Well
BPB.
played.
That was GM Ben, who also demanded I put it on the live show as well
Because he was so
to
proud
call
of himself.
attention to his good joke. There you go,
I
Ben.
I
appreciate
love
all
when
the
Ben
help,
picks
guys.
his battles. I love it.
Gotta hurry this along. My Uber's waiting outside. So.
All right, let's get to the super chats.
Bing bong. By the way, I do have
Ooh,
my
that's loud.
my hat trick hat on that was sent in by Andrew, I believe. So I will be
Producer
throwing this.
John.
Producer
I will be
Wow.
throwing this, for
What? Is that
first
the hat
Super
that
Chat
Lutz
hat
threw
trick.
at you the other day?
Yeah.
Wasn't there
That
a
he wouldn't put on, Sam.
Well, I didn't realize it was.
I didn't realize.
See, because Andrew
And he
was like,
tried
"Why?"
to get it as close. You notice what he did? If you look at it, the color of the stitching, he tried to get it as close as he could for
That's amazing.
black
little
and gold?
That's amazing.
Mm.
Well done, Andrew.
All right, John, fire him up. We'll see if that hat gets thrown around a little bit. Alistair Minton, our British DLS diehard, with a Haskinen 99 in British pounds. I need to sleep, so can't stay up to watch the show. I just wanted to say thanks to the Stars for winning a daytime game. I can rest easy. That's right, because when you're 6 or 7 hours ahead and the game starts at 9 o'clock Central Time, that means that you're starting at 4, 5,
like
6 in the
noon.
morning. That's a tough, well, not 6, but maybe like 3 or 4 in the morning.
I have a friend named Allie too.
Do you?
Yeah, he's from over
Across the pond?
somewhere over there. Too.
Somewhere over
Yeah,
there.
he's here in Texas now.
We're over.
There you go.
Rugby player.
Bing bong.
Stars 25 Cup here with a DeSmith 99. Moose meat dangling. That is all.
Did they
Bing
use
bong.
Mando on the moose meat? Mando on the moose meat?
Meat.
Revy Two Hands with a
dangling.
Brendan Smith in Year After the Cup. Bud Light, easy to drink. What was that last part? Or did you get rid of it on
Yeah,
purpose?
you're get-
Yep. We're moving on. I didn't see it. MK with a, oh, look
Nice.
at this. We have a €5. That's a Nils Lundqvist in euros in Year After the Cup. Luds, you know the euro conversion? It's about 586 US. MK says someone in Dallas should send a bottle of cheap champagne to Sakic and McFarland.
Yeah, they're eating it now.
Man, Mikko Rantanen, just absolutely a wagon.
Bing bong.
Marshall second with a Pavelski and an Ottinger. In the first period, Otter got
Nice.
stuck behind the net with a Jet physically blocking him from getting back to the crease. Is that illegal or just a bad play? Otter was amazing, so I'm not complaining. Sean, you want to handle this one?
Yeah, that was one of the moments in the first period where I thought Jake had a weird first period. The goal against on the Connor one, he basically got his foot caught and tripped. He normally doesn't explode. He doesn't try. It's a fall/dive on that one.
Yeah.
The Morrissey save by Wyatt Johnston, I didn't think he actually recognized that play super well off the rebound recovery. So we talked about it earlier, like he really excelled as this game went along, but the first period was kind of a weird one, and good goalies figure out how to get through their problems. And there was a couple stick handling issues for Jake today.
There you
was,
go.
And on
Yes.
that one, there was just a couple, like there was just multiple times where the decision making was weird, and you win this one, and if Tim and Jeff Reese, I'm sure they go over the video tomorrow and they'll look at the 8 to 9 puck touches, handles he had below the goal line and talk about either make the right decision or don't go back there at all. So,
Well, and look, Hellebuck is not great at puck handling either.
Or stopping it, apparently.
That's Connor Hellebuck.
And there was a play, I can't remember when it was at the moment tonight, where the Stars dumped it in. He went to play it, and Dallas had a forechecker ahead of the Jets defense. And it was a dicey moment for Hellebuck. He made the play, they got rid of it, but it wasn't clean. And I'm sitting there going, you should do as much as you can to get him out of his crease trying to play a puck and pressure that, because there will be mistakes.
Yeah, he never really has been that kind of guy, has
No.
he? I mean,
nope.
Is that Sean? Maybe we can talk about it more in a different show. But is that weird to you that he's not a good puck handler, but he's been one of the better goalies in the NHL over like 7 years? Shouldn't he reworking on that? Isn't that something you can get a lot better at?
Sean, you have 1 minute.
Well, let me say something
1
and
minute.
then ask Sean the question. Thank you very
Okay,
much
fair.
for everybody joining on our television platforms. including Victory Plus. I don't know if Victory Plus sticks around for overtime, but check out our website, alldls.com.
How do we not know that?
GM Ben should
Aren't
know
we supposed
that.
to know that?
We should know that.
Shouldn't he be
Yeah.
chit-chatting in here?
He should be letting us know.
Should we
Yeah.
go across the ticker here?
Okay, Sam, re-ask the question, or just Sean, if you have it, go.
To answer Sam's question about goalies and puck handling, I mean, it's something where Jake Ottinger, and tonight's it's a funny night to talk about it because I thought there were some questionable decisions puck handling, but Jake's puck handling got a lot better about 2 or 3 years ago. It was something that it wasn't a great area for him. He picked Ben Bishop's brain a lot and did all of that. And for some goalies, there is you focus on what got you there. And that's just like Connor Hellebuck's got the famous quote now where he said, "I've studied goaltending more than anyone else." A lot of his game is the play reading and everything like that. So you would think he has the brain space there to be a better puck handler. You would think the play reading could actually translate well to that. And it's just the decisions aren't there. And I talked to a goalie scout about this, about a goalie who was drafted and taken last year in the draft, and they said it's one of the things where with a lot of those big goalies, Sam, especially the guys that were already tall at 14, 15 years old, they were always told not to go play the puck as a 12, 13, 14-year-old because you're big and it's okay. And so I think there's a lot of the guys who, if you were going to go work on your puck handling, it had to be something that you really pushed for. And that's kind of why we see that's why, especially with the taller goalies, we see some guys who are really good at it because something that's been a passion project for them, and some guys who it was in their formative years were told just stay in the net. And now we see where those instincts come into play. So credit to Jake, though. Credit to Jake
by the way,
for working on
fellas,
this and making it part of his game. Yep.
GM Ben has chimed in with 3 things.
Chit chat.
1, overtime is on Victory Plus. So if you're watching, thanks for sticking with us for overtime. I wonder if that changes the rules of what we used to do on overtime on YouTube.
That's a jam, man.
2,
Okay, in our defense, we didn't know.
that's right. I don't even know if we did anything, but if we didn't know. Sam, if he takes another shot at one of my great jokes, he's never traveling again.
That might be a blessing. Hey, with the airlines you're taking, that may be a blessing.
And 3,
Maybe it'll
he
save
doesn't
me.
want us
I'll
to
take
go
Lud's
all
card.
night because we've got a special guest in studio tomorrow.
That's right. Ralphie Boy's here.
Ralph Strangis joining our show at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon here in studio. And he was at game 3 at the AAC today. He's going to game 4, I imagine. So
Yes.
let's get to a few more super chats. And then before we go, we've got to update the Stanley Cone too.
Bing bong.
Ozzy D with a Haskin in 99.
No.
As a big Rangers fan, Josh Bogorod's call Mikko Rantanen and the legend grows gave me chills. Yeah.
Bing bong.
Cinnamon K with a Brendan Smith in a year after the cup. I'm crushing hard on you, Luds. Sorry about your car.
Yeah, they make more. They make more every day.
There you go.
Bing bong.
Jason Dowdy with a Masterton and a 99 cup year. Happy Mother's Day.
That's right.
Yes.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out
Big
there.
time.
My mom.
Big time.
And
Bing bong.
by the way, for all the non-moms out there, happy Sunday.
Yep. Thank you.
The Melee Man. Yeah, I guess technically Sam does qualify as a non-mother. So
Yeah. I
happy
think
Sunday.
So. Last I checked.
The Melee Man with a Brendan Smith and a Marty Turco. I don't know if we've had a Marty Turco in our super chats yet. Best ad read of all time, Luds.
Yeah.
Your Mando read.
I'm gonna
wouldn't
go
go
back
that
and
far,
watch
but-
the full thing.
Bing bong.
He's getting the Stanley Cone ready. Burned Oils with a Canadian Brendan Smith in year after the cup. Thank you, Luds. Simply thanks. Thank you.
You know, listen.
Yep.
It's not
Yep.
easy trying to keep a straight face talking about your balls
Or
or whoever
Grundle.
balls it is.
I agree. That's
Right?
why I didn't say that word.
The thing is, I know what I
just
know
stuck with
there,
butts.
and they need to there's a song. Just everybody can. What do you call it? Spell check me or soft check me, whatever it's called. They have a thing
Yes,
called.
check, yeah.
There's a song called "Smelly Balls."
Soft check.
I don't know why we're not playing that in the background because that's exactly what this thing is about.
Are you
apparently.
actually, Luds? We are 10 months into this thing, and you're still asking why we aren't playing music on the show.
I know, but nobody knows that song.
Because we're playing
It doesn't
a better
matter
They'll
song.
if
never
anyone
catch
knows
you.
it.
They'll never catch you.
I guarantee you they will.
Now let's
'Cause
test it out, Ben.
computers. It's
Ben,
computers
give us a
doing it.
thumbs up.
It's not like a person watching every video on YouTube to catch the music in it.
Well,
I want that job.
Bing bong.
Ozzy D with a Casey DeSmith and year after or and cup 99 cup year. Mando took care of my swamp ass.
Yep.
It's
a good product.
Just wait till the next time
Dude,
Luds has to do the Mando read. I hope it's
If
with
you're,
Ralph.
if you're
They might
going
pull
some
it.
Mando, it's
No, they're
going
gonna
to
love it. Mando is that kind of company, we've been told.
Bing bong.
Socially distant with a Hintz and a Rantanen. SWF looking for SWM, whose cojones smell like Mount Fuji. That's fantastic.
Did Sam just fall over the edge? I heard Sam go, no. And now he's gone.
He went down into the chasm below.
I thought you
would
might have
be
just
dead if that
tripped over
happened.
the side.
Socially distant. That's my favorite super chat of the day so far. That's great. Next
Bing
one.
bong.
Hints me with your best
Beat it.
shot, which is a great name. Haskin and 99 cup here. 2 assists for Steele. He continues to be one of the top forwards on the team, winning more than 55% of faceoffs and being all over the ice. John, do you still have the Man of Steel at your fingertips?
Let's see. It's in a folder somewhere.
It's been relegated to the deep recesses of our
We have
catalog.
there's too many sales elements to the shows now, which is taking up all my buttons.
That's right.
So the Sam of
business.
Steel isn't ready at.
There he
There it
is.
Oh, there he is.
He's been really good.
Beautiful.
Hasn't he? I mean, Sean, we're going to have an off-season debate about cap space at some point, but
Well, let's stop right now. We don't need to go down the path right
you don't want to do that anymore? Okay, fair
Bing
enough.
bong.
No, we're good. We're just not going on this show right now, John.
That's right.
We're supposed to get done with this.
Burned oils with a Canadian $2. That's a Brendan Smith a year after the cup. Had to use your car, Luds. We'll bring it back tomorrow.
Just make sure it's full of gas. That's all I ask, and clean.
Bing bong.
I'm full of gas, I'll tell you that.
Cam with a Haskin and Rantanen. The roof blew off the AAC on the Moose goal. Sam, you were there. Of all of us, you're the only one still there because I had left by that point to get here. How loud was it?
Yes, I will say I've said this before, but this was probably the loudest that I've heard the building. The stars in the anthem, the beginning of the game, but I loved the Petrovic goal because there was so much build up. The entire song Freebird was played, so that built it all up, and I thought that was going to be the loudest. But
How come
Mikko's
they're
goal,
not
I
getting
think, was
busted
just
for playing Freebird?
so
Because
much
they pay
celebration.
rights fees to be able
They're
to
not
play it.
streaming on
Luds.
YouTube.
Luds, love it. 'Cause we do have songs we can play, eh, John?
By the way,
Yeah,
I can-
apparently,
yeah, I
if
can
they're
think of
made in
one.
Winnipeg, we have a song we can play. Yeah, there it is.
Burned
1 second
Oils,
clip.
who is one of our favorites of making up new nicknames for Sam, has a new suggestion called Samsky Samam Balls. If you can find it in the chat, John, it's not too far back.
Okay.
There it is. What do you think,
All right.
Luds? It's a bit of a mouthful, no pun intended.
Scam see some M balls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
Paul
Well done, Owen.
with a Brendan Smith in year after the cup. Please chant playoff Hellebuck or study harder.
That's Connor Hellebuck.
Honestly, the Otters better chant is great. And we know how much Eddie it meant to Ed Belfort, the Eddie's better. This has to, I mean, we talked about it earlier. This has to mean a lot to Jake to hear those chants. That'll give
Bing
him
bong.
an extra lift.
I would think so. I agree with that.
Talk hockey with me with a Madonna and 99 cup here. I was so happy to see our offense show up and see them actually carry the puck into the zone a few times. Fun game in the AAC today. Go Stars. P.S. That Mikko guy is pretty okay at hockey.
Bing bong.
And last one, and then we're closing super chats because we got to do the Stanley Cone and get out of here.
Justin Wilhoit with a Haskin and 99. Can I submit a trivia question? Who was the only other player in Dallas Stars, not Minnesota North Stars, history to wear number 53? I looked it up, so I have the answer.
I looked it up too. I didn't know it.
There's no way Sean would know this.
50,
It's
Or
The
very
only one that
history?
might know it would be you.
What was the question?
Yeah.
The only other
It's a-
person besides
can I-
Wyatt Johnston
I can give
to
the
wear
year.
53 with the Dallas Stars.
Was he a defenseman?
Let's see.
I don't even know what position he played.
No, forward, and
winger.
it was a young forward in the year 2006.
There was another player with the same last name that played for Dallas as well.
Polak. I don't know the first name.
Was it one of Lud's
Polak.
kids?
He's right.
Yep.
Romy?
Wait, seriously?
Polak.
Wojtek
Seriously?
Polak,
Wojtek Polak.
a second-round
Wait,
pick
really?
in 2003, played
well done.
5 games from 05 through 07.
Wait,
as
what's
a
it? What's the name?
And 21-year-old Wojtek.
I didn't know there was
Polak.
another Polak.
I didn't think you
just
could.
guessed
I don't
based
think you
on
can
Sam
say
saying
that.
it.
I don't think you can say that today.
I understand where you're coming from, but as long as you're referring to a proper name, it's okay.
Well, then we got a lot of proper names up in Wisconsin.
I bet you do.
We got a ton of them.
All right. Thank you for the super chats. It's time for us to update the Stanley Cone.
Go with the
And
Stanley Cone. Own.
I
was going to ask John if we had any Stanley Cone marking music, but apparently Sam's taking care of that.
Oh, I got it. Play it, John.
Here's what I propose. I propose we get rid of that song. Well, you know what?
That's the best
More
song.
reason for them to finish them off the next 2 games.
So you don't have to
That
hear it
damn
for
song.
more
Gonna
than
finish
2 more
his chicks.
games.
Yeah, and finish the
Gotta
chicks.
finish.
So I propose that this gets marked off by our guest tomorrow.
You'd like to have Ralphie do it?
Yeah.
I'm okay. All in favor?
We're putting
All
a
against?
pause. Aye.
Thank you, Sam. He gets the homework
Sam.
assignment.
Raise your arm.
Yes.
Raise your arm again, Sam. Oh, I think you'd need a little Mando.
I knew that was coming.
No. It's those are shadows.
No, I don't think so.
Because my light's broken. I got the overhead lights over here. Air conditioning's gonna fall on my head.
I'm sure it smells like Mount Fuji.
Let's go home, eh?
So, hey, we're going to talk to Ralph tomorrow. At 2 o'clock, he'll be in studio. We'll talk all things Dallas Stars, previously, now, playoffs, you name it. Sean, any final thoughts about this game as the Stars lead 2-1 in the series? Game 4, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at the AAC, after our happy hour from 5 to 6 on Tuesday.
Important thing is just Lud's opened the show with it. Momentum really doesn't mean anything in the playoffs. So enjoy this, take the stuff out of it, but then go into game 2 and learn from the Colorado series where a team can win a game and everything completely resets for the next one. That's my takeaway.
I'm laughing because Blips wants Luds to check Sam's Grundle. So inappropriate. Oh, dear. Luds, it doesn't matter if momentum doesn't carry over, but the Stars still hanging on to that home
Well,
ice
you feel
advantage.
a lot better waking up tomorrow morning than, things went the other way, and the other team is going, we have to. I expect that other team to pour everything into the
They have
game
to
for
win, otherwise they
They
go
have
back
to.
to Winnipeg down 3-1, facing elimination.
Yeah, so you may be plan on seeing their best game. So bring yours.
All right. Well, Sam, I hope you fix
Want the
that.
Stanley Cup up.
Okay, that's pretty much the best way to say thank you very much. Don't forget, we will be at Happiest Hour on Tuesday, the 13th, from 5 to 6 o'clock. Before we do our pregame show at 6:30, we will have Ralph
be there.
Strangis, the former Dallas Stars play-by-play announcer, in studio tomorrow. It's a 2 o'clock live show. If you'd like to get in on that, definitely let us know. Discord channel for diehards. I'm going to put out a request for questions for Ralphie. So if you want to send we'll do a Lud's Damn Discord channel with Ralph. Your favorite thing. You don't have to do anything. Just we'll take Discord questions for Ralph as part of our show tomorrow. That's at 2 o'clock Central Time. For Sam, for Sean, for John, for Luds, I'm Owen. Thanks for joining us. Stars win 2-1 in the series. Game 4, Tuesday night at the AAC.
That's Connor Hellebuck.
We all silly like the mayor.